Saloko is a Gujarati variation on a Sanskrit word Sloka, which is the name of a specific meter, a rhythm found in some Vedic compositions, but mostly in the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. It is thus considered as a classic basis for epic Indian poetry, with its use being widespread in traditional Sanskrit poems. The ginans too observe the Shloka meter, albeit in a freer form. The Satgur, who is cited as narrating each stanza, is an abstract or archetypal figure rather than a historical person. In the manuscripts, the term appears variously as Nur Satgur or Satgur Nur, an entity not tied to a specific character in history, but largely applied to the Satpanth Pirs in common. Saloko Moto, composed sometime in the 13th century, consists of 240 stanzas and is attributed to Pir Shams Sabzwari, whereas Saloko Nano, which came almost a century later, comprises 120 stanzas and is attributed to Pir Sadardin. The two works appear to have been especially popular over the centuries, as is indicated by the frequency with which they were copied in manuscript form. The language used is Gujarati, and the musical style is similar. Both works share the common theme of the superiority of the metaphorical inner temple of the human being, which is an abode of the divine, to worship at temples, mosques, and houses of prayer, and the transformation of the self through devotion to truth and the ultimately real, rather than outward rituals of cleansing. The first stanza of the Saloko Moto, Dil Mahe Deval Pujiye, sums up the succinct image which in the Saloko Nano is spelled out in a series of images of the heart as the citadel of God. The Saloko Moto evokes the existence of a community and social values appropriate to the sustenance of communal bonds. Among several motifs present in the Saloko Moto are other references to specific and closely held doctrines of the community. For instance, the Ginan devotes several stanzas to fierce condemnation of Ninda, meaning gossip or slander, a theme common in small, tightly bound communities. Saloko Nano, on the other hand, has a more prominent and detailed exposition of love mysticism. Authentic love for the Divine Beloved is contrasted to professions of love in the form of lip service, as illustrated in the opening stanzas of the Saloko Nano, Piyu piyu to sab juk kare, par piyu na pave koi. In conclusion, much is made of the false play of appearances compared to true inner reality. The central theme hinges on a series of images applied on the one hand to the inner self, and at the other to the contrast between the true guide, Satgur, and the impostor. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful.